Okay, we're now in a position to be able to declare the result for North West Hampshire. I, Andrew Ferrier, being the Deputy Acting Returning Officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Elizabeth Rowena Jane Bell, commonly known as Liz Bell, Labour Party, 9,327. Luigi Stefano John Gregori, Liberal Democrats, 10,283. Christopher Laurie Malthouse, commonly known as Kit Malthouse, the Conservative Party candidate, 36,590 votes. Lance Mitchell, Green Party, 2,717. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. Want of official mark, none. Voting for more candidates than voter was entitled to, 26. Writing or mark which the voter could be identified, none. Being unmarked or wholly void for uncertainty, 244. Rejected in part, none. And the total turnout was 59,188. And I do hereby declare that Kit Malthouse is duly elected.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's very late, so I won't keep you very long. First of all, a big thank you to you, Mr. Returning Officer, and to your team. It's been a fantastic, well-oiled machine. You've had lots of practice over the last 3 or 4 years. So great that we managed to get it done so well. Thank you very much indeed. I know it's a huge amount of effort across a very large constituency, and all of us, I think, as candidates, really do appreciate the work. Thank you also to our very kind police officer who's kept order this evening, and also to the other candidates who've done a great job. It's been a really good campaign here in North West Hampshire, all about policy, not about personalities, which is how it should be in the future, and I'm grateful to all of them as well. To my team, who fought a fantastic campaign, not just during the last 4 or 5 weeks, but frankly over the last 4 or 5 years. These things don't happen by accident. It's years and years of careful attention by lots of people to communities that provide this kind of support. And also to my long-suffering wife, who's put up now with 3 general elections in 5 years. It places an enormous burden on families, and I'm grateful to her for her forbearance during the campaign, but also generally during what can be a very challenging time for families. And finally, a big thank you to the people of Andon and North West Hampshire, who put their faith in me once again. To achieve these kind of numbers is really quite humbling for anybody. To do it 3 times in 5 years is amazing. And I hope that in the years to come, I can fulfill the faith that they put in me to help deliver a really bright future for this fantastic part of the world. Across the country, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing a pretty historic evening. There seems to be a realignment taking place in British politics, which has taken, I think, lots of us by surprise. It comes after a difficult 3 years since the Brexit referendum, when politics in this country has not been particularly edifying, when there's been too much arguing, not enough compromise and consensus, and when the country has struggled with uncertainty and division. What I hope now is that if we see a majority for the Conservative Party, for my party this evening, that it will produce a government that will look towards all those great qualities in this country that make us a fantastic place to live. A spirit of compromise, a one nation government which will help to rebind the country back together again and build a really fantastic future for everybody who lives in these wonderful islands. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the Assistant Returning Officer, the staff, for all the hard work you've put in today and obviously tonight as well. Our solitary policeman is a representative of all the police who've been out and about and making sure that we haven't had any problems in the thing. I'd also like to thank, of course, the Lib Dem group and staff who've worked so well, who've pushed us up by a considerable margin from what we achieved in 2017. And I'm delighted to note that we're now the major challengers to a relatively safe Conservative seat. Okay, it might take us another 3 or 4 or 5 goes, but I'm sure that one day North West Hampshire will be a Liberal Democrat seat.
25 years.
Right. I would also like to thank all those many people who voted for us. In particular for me, I don't quite understand why you're prepared to take a risk in a constituency like this. But rest assured, we, the Liberal Democrats, will carry on working for each individual one of you and our communities, irrespective of whether you voted for us or not. Thank you very much indeed.
I can almost not reach this, actually. Thank you. Thank you very much. We've had wonderful thanks from the other candidates, and I would, rather than repeating all that, I would just like to say that I absolutely agree with all the thanks that have been offered by Kit and Luigi. I found this a wonderful, friendly constituency to campaign in. I was joking with a couple of journalists earlier, because it's the first time that I've stood for Parliament. And you know, you hear a lot in the national debate about the bullying and the death threats. And when I stood to be a candidate, I almost expected my first death threat, you know, the next day. And that absolutely hasn't happened. Everyone has been lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who voted for me. Thank you to everybody who turned out to vote, because one thing is I have campaigned on the doorsteps for a few years now. One thing that has been quite depressing in the last few years is the number of people who tell me that they've given up voting. And from what I've seen tonight, I think pretty much, you know, we've had an amazing turnout, and that's very encouraging for the future. Big thanks to all the staff here. In previous years, I have counted votes in other constituencies, and it's a big job, and I know it's very late. Thank you very much to my Labour campaign team who have campaigned tirelessly. And finally, I'd like to say a really big thanks to the other candidates, because we've had a wonderful hustings, and we've had really good debates, and I've joked with Kit about the fact that we've had some great jousts, yeah? But the point is that at our hustings, there were no empty chairs, and I think that we can all be proud of that. And Labour, we're not going away. We will be here for you in the future. All right, thank you.
Thanks. I endorse the thanks of the other candidates, of course, and the returning officer's office, not just tonight, but throughout the campaign, have been very supportive. And I'd like to pick a name, Francis Cleland in that office, who has really been very helpful to all the candidates all along the way, and has helped me in previous elections, local and national. So if you could convey those thanks back to Francis. I'd like to thank all the staff who've been manning the polling stations today. It's a thankless task, but I'm sure it's quite amusing at times for them. So I hope they get some entertainment. And all the people who've been counting here tonight have done an absolutely terrific job to get all this lined up and get the result out by now. As with Liz, I'd like to thank the other candidates for a very well conducted campaign, a friendly campaign. We've had some good banter going on and some good discussion and debate, some disagreements and some agreements. And this is where I lie. And those that attended the hustings will know that I've been harping on tirelessly about collaboration in politics. I'm fed up with the way that people have been MPs as well, have been unproductive because they're always arguing, calling each other names. And I love the idea of collaborating, and you know, where we have some common goals that we can agree upon, that we can work on together, that is the way to do politics, and that is the way that I wish to see Parliament conduct itself. And I hope that, and I congratulate Kit on his victory tonight, very much so, and I hope that, I'm sure he'll continue as a member of the Cabinet, and therefore he will have some say in making sure that people work together to achieve the common goals in the interests of the people of this country. It's very important to me. I'm passionate about it, and I hope that you are too, Kit. So thank you very much to everyone. Thank you to the other candidates, and I'll see you hopefully, according to the Fixed Term Parliament Act, in 5 years' time. But who knows, it could be another 2 years, and here we are again.